Hello builders. In just a few minutes, I'll walk you through creating OpenFlow Snowflake Deployment, a runtime, and a basic put-to-stage processor. OpenFlow Snowflake Deployment is Snowflake's data integration service running on top of Snowpark Container Services, SPCS, enabling you to connect any data source to any destination using hundreds of available processors. Based on Apache NiFi technology, OpenFlow allows you to process both structured and unstructured data, text, image, audio, video, and much more. Let's get started. Before we create our deployment, we need to set up the OpenFlow admin role that's required for OpenFlow Snowflake deployments. Let me navigate to Snow site and open up the SQL script that I have prepared. I'm going to change my role to account admin, then create a role named OpenFlow admin. I'm going to grant the OpenFlow admin to create compute pool because we're going to run OpenFlow deployment and runtime on Snowpark Container Services. Then I'm going to grant two specific privileges, which are very specific to OpenFlow. One is data plane integration. Another one is runtime integration. Then I'm going to attach this role to the user, the current user. I'm also going to check the status of behavior change bundle, the specific version 2025_6 to see if it's enabled. Mostly it's enabled. If it's not enabled, please run this another stored procedure that right here to have it enabled. This is required for network maintainability and CDC, SAS, and other things to work for you within OpenFlow. And lastly, I'm going to verify if I got all the grants done. We're all set right now to go start create a new OpenFlow Snowflake deployment. Now that we have created the OpenFlow admin role and granted it the required privileges, let's get to creating our first OpenFlow Snowflake deployment. I'm going to navigate to Ingestion and then click OpenFlow. Click on the Launch OpenFlow button here. If you're logging in for the very first time into OpenFlow user interface, it will ask you for your credentials. This is pretty much same as your Snowsite credentials. I'm going to click here, get to the landing page or the overview page, which will prompt you to create a deployment. Before I create a deployment, I also want to ensure that I'm on the right role, which is OpenFlow admin. And if you go to the top, you see that I'm on OpenFlow admin role. In case if I'm not, you know, like how to switch the roles using the switch role options that is available on your UI. So let's not worry about that. I'm going to go to click create deployment and then click the wizard. Right now, go to next. And there are two types of deployment that you could see here, technical deployment locations. One is OpenFlow Snowflake deployment, which is using Snowpark Container Services, or you can also bring in your own cloud, BYOC. Let's not worry about BYOC for this video. I'm going to click OpenFlow Snowflake deployments, give it a name. I'm going to call it as quick start deployment, just to stay in line with the guides that's been published. And then I'm going to click next. I'm going to leave everything to default. We'll not worry about that for now, and click create deployment. So as I said, the deployment might take some time. Let's wait for the deployment to be completed. There you go. Our quick start deployment is active right now, technically after 8 minutes of its creation. As I said earlier, like it will take some time for the deployment to be deployed. Its location is in Snowflake in the subversion, and its owner is OpenFlow admin. Now that we have a deployment ready, the next step will see how to create and attach a runtime to this deployment. Now that we have created an OpenFlow Snowflake deployment named Quick Start Deployment, and it's in active state, let's go ahead and attach a runtime to it. Navigate to the Runtimes tab and click Create Runtime. There are a bunch of parameters that I want to highlight here. One of the important things as a prerequisite that Snowflake closes all the egress traffic from within Snowflake Container Services. So we need to have an EAI, an external access integration, created to complete this runtime creation. So let's get back to network here. And then I'm using your account role admin, using an existing database, schema to put all my network rules. And I'm going to create one network rule named Snowflake _network rule, because as part of this demonstration, I'm just going to show you how to put a file into stage. And then I'm going to attach this network rules to an external access integration named Quick Start Access. And then I'm going to grant usage to this particular integration to OpenFlow admin. This is very important because if you don't give this, your runtime creation will fail. So I'm just going to grant this one to OpenFlow admin. Now we are all set from the network perspective. So let me go back here. I'm just going to click create here so that like it picks the new external access integrations that has been created. So I'm going to click create runtime. I'm going to call this runtime like say quick start runtime. I'm going to leave other things for default for this one. I'm going to choose my existing role. This role basically determines the database and other Snowflake resources that can be accessed from within OpenFlow runtime. So I'm going to use one of my existing roles, Kamesh_demos. And then, as you know, like we just created this external access integration. I'm just going to get this external access integration from there. If you remember, we named this quick start access and then click create. Now, as with deployments, runtimes is also going to take some time for us to do. Let's click view runtimes and wait for the runtime to be created before we do our sanity check. There we go. In less than 2 minutes or so, our runtime is active. It's attached to quick start deployment, owner's OpenFlow admin. As part of next step, we'll access this runtime, add a processor put to a stage processor onto the canvas, and verify if our runtime is working and able to connect to Snowflake. To access an active runtime, click on the runtime name. It will open up a new tab. And obviously, if you're not authenticated at the runtime, the very first time it prompts you for the credentials. And obviously, I'm going to use my existing Snowsite credentials that I've been using with deployments and other stuff. And once you're authenticated, it should take you to the landing page, or what we call as the canvas of runtime. So this is where we're going to add a proper sanity check process group and other stuff to make sure we are able to access Snowflake resources and ingest data into Snowflake from within OpenFlow runtime. So as a good practice, I always try to create a process group. Let me call this sanity check, and then get into the process group. For this demo, I'm going to keep it pretty simple. I'm going to add the first processor. There are a bunch of processors you can choose from. Apache NIFI one, which are all open source ones, and Snowflake ones are all provided by Snowflake Enterprise processors that is available. So first we'll add one open source one. I'm just going to use the one called GenerateFlowFile that allows you to generate flow file. I'm just going to go here. I'm going to go to the properties and then click on configure. And probably I'm just going to put a very simple thing. I'm not going to just doing a sanity check. I'm just going to put this text here, say NITY check from runtime, and then click OK. And then this has to lead into something. That's where you're going to add another process here. And just in this time, I'm going to fill with Snowflake, and then I'm going to type stage, and then you see this put Snowflake internal stage file. That's what I'm going to use right now. There's a bit of configuration I need to do, but before that, let me put this here so that like this configuration is done, it's ready. Okay. And then let's click on configure for this. There are a bunch of things that I need to do. Very first thing that I need to attach for this is a Snowflake service. So since I don't have anything, I'm going to create one right now. I'm going to click create, use Snowflake connection service, add that here. And then I go to the service to configure this. Yes. And then click on edit. The beautiful thing about OpenFlow Snowflake deployment is that I don't need to remember my account ID, username, password, etc., because I can use session token from here. So I'm just going to go down, what is that, to the authentication strategy, and then Snowflake session token. Okay, that's it. There is no username, password. You don't need to remember all the credentials. That's a big advantage that you get with Snowpark Container Services, that the token is already loaded for you to authenticate with the account that you're logged in with the Snowpark Container Services. Let's make sure that we are able to connect to this. I'm just going to click verify. Make sure the connection service works. There you go. It's all good. And then I'm going to apply this and then enable the service so that the service is enabled. So that I can use Pact in my processor. I'm just going to close this back and the service is enabled. Let me get back to my processor and the connection service is ready. I'm going to use the internal stage type named. And then I'm going to use my existing database, Kamesh_. OpenFlow demos. I'm just going to use public schema here. It can be small letters as well, but just for convenience, I'm just putting it capital. I have a name stage called as demos. So these things should exist. If not, you need to create them for the files to work. It does not automatically get created. I can use a file name. It's auto-generated file name, but to make things simple, I'm going to call this a sanity check.txt. I'm not worried about the content, just to make sure that I'm able to connect to Snowflake from within my runtime. That's good. Just click on this to make sure everything is correct. It's going to check for this and all good. So I'm just going to give apply. And then lastly, I'm just going to drain this into a funnel because, sorry about this. Let me go here and pull this form right here. And then on success, adjust a funnel. If it's not able to put on a failure, I'm just going to configure this failure relationship to be terminated. Okay, and that's it. We have everything ready right now for us to check if I'm able to connect a runtime to our Snowflake account. Just going to click start here. It should produce one little file that is 25 bytes approximately. And then that's going to be landed here. And that's pretty much it. We have a functional OpenFlow runtime that is available for you where you can go connect any of your data sources and get the data and ingest into Snowflake. And that's it. We have created an OpenFlow Snowflake deployment, configured a runtime with necessary roles and permissions, including network access rules, added a sample put-to-stage processor to make sure everything works well. OpenFlow offers hundreds of processes and pre-built connectors that can help you build production-grade data pipelines for both structured and unstructured data. Check out the video description for Snowflake documentation, quick start guides, and some EA examples to get started with your OpenFlow journey. Thank you so much for watching.